Today, this is perhaps not the appropriate place or the moment for a detailed analysis of geopolitical and military consequences of a potential armed intervention by the United States in Greenland. This would constitute, from a political perspective, irrespective of other factors, and from our own point of view, either a major catastrophe or a serious conflict or an outright attempt to annex territory. A country that is a member of NATO, by another nation that is also a member of NATO, and what's more, if that nation were the United States, well, that would truly be the end of the world. The kind of world that we have come to know, and which for many decades has guaranteed our safety and security, and not just for us.
The Arctic is heating up as Greenland becomes the center of a new geopolitical standoff. Poland has announced it will not send soldiers to Greenland, with Prime Minister Donald Tusk warning any NATO attack on a member would be catastrophic. Tusk described such an attack as the end of the world as we know it, highlighting the fragility of NATO solidarity.
Today, this is perhaps not the appropriate place or the moment for a detailed analysis of geopolitical and military consequences of a potential armed intervention by the United States in Greenland. This would constitute, from a political perspective, irrespective of other factors, and from our own point of view, either a major catastrophe or a serious conflict or an outright attempt to annex territory. A country that is a member of NATO, by another nation that is also a member of NATO, and what's more, if that nation were the United States, well, that would truly be the end of the world. The kind of world that we have come to know, and which for many decades has guaranteed our safety and security, and not just for us. It also guaranteed that global order, which was founded upon NATO solidarity and which effectively held back throughout the world, but especially in Europe and in North America, it held back the forces of evil, related either to communism or to terrorism or to other forms of international aggression and attempts to undermine the international order. Therefore, I do not wish to anticipate this. I mean, I don't want to speculate whether it is truly possible. You are familiar with my critical attitude towards many decisions and events taking place on the other side of the Atlantic. I've been completely open about it, and the only thing I can tell you is what I've known to be the case since forever. That unfortunately no scenario can be ruled out. Considering the previous actions of President Trump's administration, every scenario is possible. On numerous occasions, including in our private one-on-one conversations and during the G7 and G20 summits, when I had the distinct opportunity to co-chair them as the President of the European Council, I discussed this topic many times with the then President Trump. I am specifically referring to his first term in office. He has often made it clear that unpredictability, surprising, especially his allies, is a tactic to which he is deeply committed, so absolutely nothing can be ruled out. Does Europe have any kind of plan for such situations? Ladies and gentlemen, there are no plans. I will personally do everything in my power to ensure that Europe as a whole remains truly united, because our own Polish security directly and fundamentally depends on the continued stability of the European Union and the unwavering solidarity of its European NATO members. I too will do everything that is within my power. I am fully aware of where its limits lie, so that transatlantic relations, which were the foundation of our civilization. So this thing we call the West, spelled with a capital W, meaning Europe, the United States and Canada, all together. That if this were to become unstable, I mean, it's already quite shaky at this moment, but if it were to be completely squandered,
so we will have to get ourselves ready for
of building a security architecture with all those who remain truly loyal to the project of the West as a unified community. I don't want to dream about it yet.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly insisted that Greenland is vital to American national security and must be controlled to prevent Russia or China from gaining a foothold. Trump has claimed that all options are on the table to secure the autonomous Danish territory, which he views as strategically indispensable.
Mr. President, on NATO, right now it sounds like you are saying that you would potentially acquire Greenland by force. That would be a NATO country, the United... Are you saying that? Would you do that?
No, you're saying that.
Would you
I
acquire
didn't
them by
say it.
force
No,
right
you're
now?
telling me that that's what I'm going
I
to
think
do.
we're-
You don't know what I'm going to do.
So what are the options?
Your
then?
network
Because
doesn't know either.
The Danish foreign minister said that there's still fundamental differences after the meeting with Rubio and with the vice president. Are you willing to leave the NATO alliance in order to get what you want with Greenland? What are the options right
Well,
now?
I wouldn't be telling you what I'm willing to do, certainly. I'm not going to give up options, but it's very important. Greenland is very important for the national security, including of Denmark. And the problem is, there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it if Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland. But there's everything we can do. You found that out last week with Venezuela. There's everything we can do about things such as that. Not going to happen. We're not, I can't rely on Denmark being able to fend themselves off. They were talking about they put an extra dog, and they were serious about this. They put an extra dog sled there last month. They added a second dog sled. That's not going to do the trick.
In response, military personnel from France and Germany arrived in Greenland for exercises designed to assure the U.S. over the region's security. Earlier, Trump doubled down, saying if the U.S. does not act, Russia and China will, joking that Denmark's only contribution was an extra dog sled. Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen refuted claims of Chinese warships near Greenland, calling it not a true narrative, and emphasizing constructive discussions with Greenland's leaders.
Even though we wasn't so successful that we reached, a conclusion where our American colleagues said, "Oh, sorry, it was totally misunderstanding. We gave up on our ambitions." There's clearly a disagreement. We agreed that it makes sense to try to sit down on a high level to explore whether there is possibilities to accommodate the concerns of the president, while we at the same time respect the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark. So this is the work we will start. Whether that is doable, I don't know. I hope, and I would like to express that it could take, down the temperature. It is not a true narrative that we have, Chinese warships all around the place. According to our intelligence, we haven't had a Chinese warship in Greenland for a decade or so. So, from that perspective, it was a very constructive meeting. As I said, frank discussion among equal partners, and now at least we have to give it a try. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think it's very important to say it again, that how important it is from our side to strengthen our cooperation with the United States, but that doesn't mean that we want to be owned by the United States, but as allies, how we can strengthen our cooperation, it's all our interest.
Germany confirmed the deployment of 13 soldiers to Greenland, while Sweden added that it was sending several troops of its own. The escalating Arctic tensions underscore deepening debates within NATO and between the U.S., Denmark, and Greenland, as military moves and political rhetoric continue to capture global attention.